Welcome to the channel, ladies and gentlemen. All right, guys, here we go. Friday the 13th, part 8. We're heading to Vancouver, baby. What's going on?
Hey man, not much, man.
Oh man, we have waited. We have waited so long to get to this point, or have we? That's the question.
Oh, stop.
Anyways, this is going to be interesting, guys. Let's see. Let's see what we have in the chat, and let's get going on this thing, man. We got my man Strange Monkey in the chat. I'm ready for this. Yeah, yeah,
Hey.
you are, man. Yeah, you are. Steven's in the chat. Get it up.
Okay.
DMC, my man DMC. Let me just say real quick,
Hello.
Hey.
DMC, you are all right, man, because you are carrying that torch for this movie. And I think you'll be surprised by some of the things we talk about. But nice to have you, man. And saying, hey, Knight, Coriander, and Killian, thanks for dropping by Dice's stream. I love the opening song to this movie. The opening song is amazing. Yes, absolutely. And of course, you're right, man. Happy anniversary to Dice. Wonderful channel. And man, she was on the stream forever yesterday. Telling you. But awesome stuff. A lot of anniversaries lately. Triv had her 3-year channel anniversary. I mean, everyone's,
Nice.
you know, very cool. What's up, David? Bobby's in the chat. What's going on? And look who's in the chat. Good old Eric.
Hello.
Hey.
Bad News Cruise. All right. Anthony's in the chat. What's going on? We got Miss Carter. We got Emil. We got
Hello.
Patrick's in the chat. Wait, this isn't the IFC Midnight chat. Patrick, come on, man. What's up, Blucka? And we got my man Neil. Neil's in the chat. Manhattan just wasn't ready for this. Neil, our newest member. I just want to give a shout out to Neil because it's really cool. He's our newest member to our patron family, and
Huh?
much appreciated. Thanks a lot, man. We
Yeah.
appreciate you.
Yeah.
And yeah, man, it's awesome stuff, man. We'll be seeing a lot more of you for sure. All right. Emil saying one of the best, worst ones. I love this movie. So much shit was all over.
That's a good way to put
Yeah.
it.
That is a great way to put it.
Right.
Right.
What's up, Lamar? Lamar's in the chat.
Hey.
Hey.
El Joey, what's up? What's up? All right, guys. Oh, hey, we got Phil. Phil's in the chat too from Phil's Creepy
Hello.
Videos. What's going
Hey,
on?
what's up?
Eric. Julius is no Apollo Creed, but he gets an A for effort. Right.
Yeah, he does, man.
He does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Joseph's in the chat too. What's going on? That's so
Hello.
funny. He said,
Hey.
"Hey, Dad." That's funny. Oh man. Crystal's in the chat. What's going on? What's going on?
Hello.
All right, guys.
Hello.
You know how we have to do this. So let's go through this movie for you guys. We'll try to get to your comments. But as you know, we're going to be talking about this movie. We do have super chats available too, though, so that will highlight a comment because obviously you guys are working hard. I'll try to get to as many comments as we can. But anyways, Kill, let's start this thing off. What are you thinking about in the beginning of this movie? First of all, as you saw in the cold intro for our show, this movie starts off a lot different than than all of the other entries.
Yeah, I mean the start, you have that very 80s, kind of feeling song, intro song,
Yeah.
which is awesome. And they're showing all of New York. They're showing the gritty 80s New York, and it looks so cool. And we see almost none of that in the movie. We see the New York docks. We see a few alleys. We see the sewer. We see a old, reused picture of the Statue of Liberty.
Oh my God.
I
It's
mean,
actually a postcard.
I mean, I've been to New York. There's more to New
Right?
York than just the docks. I'm just saying.
Exactly.
And there's that quick scene. It looks like they're in Times Square, where Jason scares the punks.
Yes,
But yeah,
yes.
then that's about it. So the opening crawl, it's a lot of New York in there, man, and
It is.
with the opening song
Hey
and the
man,
voiceover of the
they had
gritty city.
That's the
they had
most we
to
get of it.
they had
Yeah.
to use that money. Well, no, the most I
I'm
mean,
just joking.
the big shot was at the end, which was a cool, and we'll
Yeah.
get to that, was a cool shot of Jason. But what about you, Coriander? I mean, obviously, look, in all these movies, we always have to figure out, how does Jason come back? So you got these two kids. They're,
Yeah.
part of the graduating class. They're hanging out. Where are they hanging out, Coriander? Crystal Lake.
Yeah,
Crystal
they
Lake. Can you
are.
imagine it? So what were you thinking
Yeah.
about the beginning of how this was getting set up?
I mean, this setup was fine. I mean, they could have maybe thought of a better way to bring Jason back, but
Mhm.
I mean, I get it. They had to do what they had to do. So, but I didn't mind this at all. I kind of liked when Jason got on the boat and started doing his shit. And yeah,
They had to
yeah,
electrocute him. And
yeah, they did.
obviously, here's the thing for me, man. And again, I want to make sure I get this out of the way. And I'm sure I speak for you two as well. I love all the Friday 13th movies. They all have
Yeah,
entertainment value. This
Yes.
one, but I gotta admit, man, this one was really testing the limits of logic, because obviously at the end of the New Blood, Tina's dad makes the save and brings Jason down back into the lake. Now, the fact that he lands right on top of that that conductor wire or whatever.
yeah.
I mean, wow. I
It's
mean, that's
lucky.
that's some lucky shit. Jason is lucky. But anyways, he comes back. Of course, the dude on the boat has a hockey mask, because
Oh, okay.
remember,
Yeah.
Jason's hockey mask was destroyed in part 7 when Tina, made it crack open. So, Kill, I mean, look, it's Kane Hodder though. I do want to say this. The opening scene when Jason comes onto the boat, and I'll give it to you in a second, Kill. When he
Mhm.
comes onto the boat and he stands up and he's like looking around, like you can instantaneously
Mhm.
tell that that's Kane Hodder. So I want to give credit where credit's due. But man, Kill, take me through the opening Kill, man.
One thing I gotta say, and I'd be remiss if I didn't mention, is stop supplying Jason with fresh hockey mask. Look,
Fresh,
look,
yes.
I gotta say this. Like, look, if I'm taking my special lady out on Dad's yacht to celebrate graduation, I'm not gonna bring a hockey mask to a lake where there is no hockey rink. Like, and it looks like it's also summertime.
Right?
Why are
Yeah,
we
it is.
supplying fresh masks to Jason? Don't do that.
He's
Mhm,
trying to
Uh,
scare his
mhm.
girl. Come on.
yeah,
Yeah, he was telling
yeah,
I will give them credit. He was telling the story, and that was kind of cool, man.
yeah, but
Yeah.
he should be focusing on other things. There's plenty of other things you could do on the yacht. All right,
Right.
like,
Right,
but
right.
but anyway, the opening kill. I mean, that's one of the issues I have with this movie, and we'll get to that because it's not really the movie's fault. It's the ratings board and things of that nature at the time. But
Oh yeah,
the
big
the
time.
o- the opening
Hmm.
kill, once again, Jason is like he's like the MacGyver of slashers. He will find something in his proximity to kill you with.
Right?
A broken mirror, a spear,
Like, what the hell is the spear gun? Like, literally just begging Jason to pick it up. Like, please pick me up and use me.
yeah, and the way Kane just kind of just he's standing there, he's hulking out, and he just looks over. All right, this will do.
Yeah, right. Thank
And,
you.
and then he just kind of shoots a warning shot, like, "Hey,
And he missed.
hi, Mr. Happy is here."
But that was crazy though that he missed. I was like, wow,
Yeah,
he usually
lucky.
is dead center, right?
Hmm.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
I don't know what's worse, him missing or him taking the actual gun and just shoving it through the guy,
Right.
like just the blunt end. I'm just gonna
Yeah.
pierce you with this,
Mm-mm-mm.
and
Hmm.
then
Well,
he's like, okay, so I missed. Let me take this for later. No,
mhm.
go ahead.
I was gonna say, I'll tell you what's worse is the fact that she didn't jump off the boat. That's what's even
Yeah.
worse, right? I mean, seriously,
Yeah.
for you guys in the chat, tell me the truth. You got Jason Voorhees on the boat with you. The boat is only so big. The boat is finite, right? Anywhere off
And the
of the
shore's
boat,
pretty close too.
exactly. Anywhere off of the
So
boat is infinite. where are you gonna go?
Maybe
Right?
maybe she didn't know how to swim.
Man, you learn how to swim just like Rennie had to learn how to swim in this movie. That's what you do. Right, Coriander? I mean, tell me, man. Seriously.
Yeah. Yeah,
God,
I wouldn't stay on the boat and hide. Hell no.
right?
Nope.
Because
I
it's
take my
only
chances in the woods.
yeah. And you notice when Jason got done with the dude and he came out, he didn't really look in the lake. He was already like, "You're gonna make this too
No.
easy for me," you know. It's like, come on, man.
Yeah.
Toronto Freddy was saying, Jason. Why did they replace it with that so hokey? Yeah, I think they were definitely having some fun with this movie right from the beginning, like Killian was saying. You know, it's like I don't know, man. They just figured, hey, let's just be real about it. This movie's about Jason Voorhees, so it is what it is. But Coriander, you know, we get done with that kill and it's over, and we start to meet the cast of this group from, I believe it's Lakeview High. They're graduating and they're taking a cruise to New York. What did you think of
Yeah.
the cast and how we started to get introduced to this group of people in this Friday 13th?
I mean, this it's an interesting concept, class
Mm-hmm.
trip on a boat. I mean, that's pretty cool, better
Mm-hmm.
than where I went for my class trip. So, but in the cast, I mean, it's just a bunch of kids. I didn't really have any favorites. Well, obviously, the boxing guy. What the hell's his name?
Julius.
Julius.
Yes, man. Julius. He was great. Just because, when have you ever seen anybody box Jason? I don't think
Exactly.
ever.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I think he was probably one of my favorite ones out of everybody.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
man.
But the cast was
Absolutely.
okay.
The
They were
cast
fun to
was good.
see. Yeah, it was nice to see him get killed, but the gore, I mean, when the captain got his throat slit, that was like terrible. They
Absolutely.
should have had a little blood, but there was nothing.
They should have, but that's a whole. We'll get into the MPA stuff too,
Yeah.
man. That was some crazy stuff. But anyways, we're gonna take a quick second to get set up. So for you guys in the chat, for you guys watching the replay, sit back, relax. Jason Takes Vancouver. You know what time it is. All right, all right. Kill. I'm telling you, man, this movie had like some of the biggest ups and downs of all time. Look,
Yeah.
let's get deeper into this thing. Let's talk about Rennie and the visions on the boat. Because I mean, the boat part of it, some of it was good to me, and some of it was kind of like, all right, come on. And we'll talk about why they had to do that in a little bit. But tell me what you thought of Rennie. She's the final girl. She has hallucinations of friggin' little Jason. So
I mean,
there he is.
I don't know if they were just trying to kind of ride on the whole waves of, kind of the last movie with Tina, like having some sort of special power. Now, obviously, Rennie is, she's not, doing the X-Men thing, beating Jason up, but she has these visions, and
Right.
some of it you can't tell, is this really happening? Is this in her head? What's going on? Why is she seeing visions of like kid Jason and things of that nature?
Yeah, man.
It's funny for me, and I'd love to know what you guys think. I didn't think all that was needed. I
Right.
I really felt that, like, they just felt we need to put some sort of semi supernatural element other than zombie Jason in here.
Well,
And,
I'll tell you why I think they did it, and Coriander, then I'll pass it on to you to see what you think about it. I've got one word, Freddy. I think they were definitely feeling, the competition because at that point, Nightmare on Elm Street had really risen to the top of the food chain, and I think that they saw this as a way to add more fantastical elements into the movie. The director even talked about that, Rob Heaton, that he was very not obsessed, but he was very interested in the whole mythology of Jason Voorhees as a child and what that meant. What do you think about that, Coriander? Do you think that they were trying to kind of get that inspiration from the Nightmare on Elm Street series?
Maybe, perhaps, I don't know, because they were, what was it, Dream Child? Was that out around the same time?
Yeah, they had just.
Right.
I think we had just gotten the Dream Master. which of course at that
Okay.
point was one of the highest grossing horror movies, you know.
Yeah.
So I think
So
that that's
maybe. But like you said, the director had a fascination with Jason as a child, so
right,
maybe it was just his way of bringing the kid into it. I don't know, but like Killian
right.
said, was it needed? No, I don't think so.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, it definitely seemed that that was kind of part of it, man. But they also had some old elements in the movie too, which was kind of cool. Of course, you had your boy Kill. It had to be somebody that had some sense on this thing, man. You know, you were all doomed. And of course,
Yeah.
you know, this starts to round out pretty much the main cast as well, because you've got Scott Reeves. He's the love interest for Rennie, playing Sean, which, by the way, he was actually the second actor cast in that role.
Yeah,
They
he
had
was.
another actor that actually shot some scenes and so forth, and the producers at Paramount was like, "We got an issue. We can't. This isn't working." And so actually, Scott Reeves was pulled in afterwards. But I mean, we also get introduced to people like JJ, you know, and she's rocking out, which I gotta admit, those were some cool scenes. What do you think about that stuff, Coriander? Or you kill? I mean,
I,
either way.
yeah, good. I enjoyed her rocking out, and
Hmm.
especially when she got down into that part of the ship because it sounded pretty damn good.
Right?
And yeah,
Mhm.
she knows her shit. So I didn't mind this character either. Even though she was
No.
taken out, yeah, pretty much the first one.
Right?
But
I was like, man, they actually took out one of the cooler
right,
characters. I
Yep.
mean,
right.
you don't get a lot of time with anyone because they're trying to get to New York, man, and it's just one of those
Yeah.
situations.
Are they really trying? Because it seems like they were on the boat a long time.
That's what I'm saying, man. Like, how
They
far away is
were.
Crystal Lake from New York, man? They were on this thing for like days.
Felt like it.
Ugh, man, it really, really did. But Kill, um, let me know what you thought also, because Kelly Hughes in the movie, who
Yes,
would
she
go
is.
on to do a lot bigger and better things. That scene on the dance floor, that was pretty rough as far as the way
That
that
was a good
Jason
one.
took care of it. But it was a cool shot, it was a well shot scene. What do you think of that scene?
Yeah, I mean, I liked it, but of course, like I kind of alluded to earlier, so many of the kills were either these kind of quick cut kills where
Hmm.
you don't actually see the guy land on a spike or an antenna, but
Right.
then you'll see him afterwards just there,
Hmm.
you know,
Hmm.
and like with the kill here, it was good, you know, and he as he's kind of like pretty much breaking her neck and choking her, you know, pushing her down,
Right.
but then
Right.
it just kind of feels like you hear it audibly more than you
Hmm.
see it.
Right.
And in a lot of ways that can make it scarier because your brain can do wonders for, you know, horror, you know, things that you just hear and perceive and but don't actually see. But then it's just like, all right, I broke you, let me just toss you. And then it's just like, all right, it's just it's just like, all right. And that's really, to me, my biggest issue with this movie is
Hmm.
they're, to me, they're on the boat too much, but the bigger issue
Right.
is how they were just handicapped with the gore and the
Yeah.
kills. You know,
Absolutely.
too many quick cuts or too many, well, cutaways where we're not going to show you, you know, and it's just like, to go from some of the other ones to that, it just seems, moving backwards a little bit.
Well,
But
yeah, they were. I mean, and we'll get to that too. Real quick too in the chat, Toronto Freddy was, why does this kid Jason look so normal in this?
Yeah.
Right. I know. See, all right, let's just be, can I, all right, we're gonna stop here. Let's
Oh
cut
no.
forward. Let's cut forward. I want to talk about, we talked about the way that, you know, the kid looks in the movie, but I also want to talk about Jason's look in the movie. I mean, look, Coriander, what did you think of the way that Jason looked in the movie, the makeup effects and so forth? Obviously, Kane, to me, he did a heck of a job as usual, you know. But what did you think of the way he looked? Coriander, you there?
Oh,
Oh,
hey, okay, what were you saying? I'm sorry.
no, I was saying, what did you think of the way that he looked in the movie for Jason, the makeup effects?
Yeah, okay. Well, I didn't like, I get that he was in the lake, but I don't understand why he was so wet and why he continually just stayed, had that wet look.
Hmm.
Um,
Hmm.
it wasn't the best, but I love Kane as Jason, and I'll always say that.
Right.
But yeah, in this one, I mean, he did great, but I didn't really care for his look. No, no.
Yeah. What about you, Kill?
Uh, I mean, put it this way. You guys, if you've been following us, pretty much the last movie, that's my favorite look for Jason. And I'm
Hmm.
talking about the Jason where he's, zombie. You can see the spinal cord. He has the chain around his neck.
Right.
He looks badass. And between the end of that movie and him being underwater, he changed into a different one piece. The
Yeah.
spine. You don't see the spine anymore. He took the chain off. He's like, all right, I'm looking good. Let me just
Right.
let
Right.
me just lay back down until I get electrocuted and get to come back up and be wet the whole movie.
Whole time. The whole
The
time.
whole time. I mean, is he one of those like ghosts from like Scooby Doo, like the
Or
pirate
from
that
or from
is
Creep Show.
is always wet? Yeah, it's just like, all right, I don't know what's going on here, but once again, to go from the last movie where those special effects for Kane were
Exactly.
just magnifique to this,
Exactly.
it's like,
Yeah.
why are you guys like cheating the fans? Why are you
Right.
lowballing us here?
Well, and Kane Hodder talked about this too in interviews and documentaries and so forth, because he said that's one of the biggest questions a lot of people always ask is why does the look of Jason, why is it different each time? And he said the simple answer is because you have a different makeups effect crew in each movie, which I understand that, you know what I mean? But
Yeah.
it's just too bad that they didn't try to, I don't know, make it a little bit closer to what we had seen before, because arguably, and I agree with you, in part 7, that was some of the best makeup effects in the whole franchise. Everything looked good. Even Jason without his mask on. I know some of the producers at Paramount weren't big on the way he looked without the mask on, but it was well done. You know what I'm saying? And then you
Mhm.
have this movie, and we'll get to the ending of it, which is a story unto itself, and it doesn't match up in my opinion. It really, really doesn't. But anyways, we'll get back to that. Coriander, let's get to some of the other scenes. Obviously, these two, they had a pretty good connection. I don't think it was anything too
Yeah.
special. What you think about them as a
Well,
couple in this movie?
I thought, it's young and fresh, so it's in its innocent, sweet mode. You know,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
think they're a cute couple,
yeah,
so I didn't mind, you know, these guys.
yeah. And of course, we gotta kill our boy. You gotta love Peter Mark Richmond as Uncle Charles. Uh, he literally was that guy throughout the whole movie. Like every time he was on screen, it was either funny or kind of like, get the hell off the screen type of thing. But he was memorable. I will say that. He's a
Yeah.
character that was very memorable in this movie. What do you think about his scenes, and especially the scene with Tamara where she basically lures him into making sure that she doesn't get a failing grade and all that type of stuff.
The one thing I'll say about the Friday the 13th movies is they got the smarmy guy in the suit down by pat. Like,
Right?
like between this movie, the last movie, or even like the sheriff that didn't believe Tommy, the guy in the suit or the guy in an authority figure, the
Hmm.
older guy who's of an authority figure age,
Yeah.
they're always a great asshole. And
Right?
this guy is no different. I loved every scene he was in because I knew he was going to say some messed up stuff.
Right?
And and the scene where the young lady is kind of trying to frame him, just
Yeah.
his facial
Yeah.
expressions of what are you doing? What
Hey.
like, look at that look right there of what do you think you're doing? And it was just perfect. I love this dude, and like he looks like the perfect villain.
Right,
I mean,
right.
just
He's good.
look at that face and look at that suit. That's a villain.
Yeah.
And he was
Yeah, he
he
looks
was
like the guy who would throw his niece into the, lake when he knows she can't swim.
Right,
Definitely looks
right.
like that.
Yes. Or he would hold you in front of himself so you get killed by
Right.
Jason and the
Oh
circular saw.
no.
Like, nope, you stay right there. Like,
Shout out to Weekend at Bernie's. But
shout out the Weekend at Bernie's.
man, Uncle Charles, he was bitching the whole movie, man. He just wouldn't let up. But anyways,
No.
he was a memorable character. And of course, you have that scene afterwards when Jason is coming after Tamra, and that was, I will say this: the MPAA once again really kind of messed up things as far as the kills in this
Yeah.
movie, which was too bad. I mean, it was an okay scene. I did like the way that Kane punched the mirror. I mean, he looked like he was probably pissed off because he knew the MPAA was going to cut the scene, because he punched that mirror with some necessary violence, man. But anyways, these kills were definitely neutered more than they were in part 7. It's like,
Yeah.
it's just almost
Yeah, they
unbelievable.
were.
We have to have an episode where we just talk about how the MPAA really changed the trajectory of a lot of these horror movies.
Mhm.
Real quick, Anthony was saying, I'm from New Jersey. You can get on the ferry and get to New York in a matter of minutes, right?
Nice.
Yeah,
Oh, no.
it's true, man. Oh man, it is a big difference between New York and Vancouver. I just want to put that out there because I've been to New York.
Yeah,
Um, Mr. Check Yourself saying, I think this is Kelly Hugh's first movie. Yeah,
it
yeah, I
is.
believe it was.
I could see
It
that.
is.
Yeah.
Yep.
DMC, I did like the Spock Hill scene. That's gotta hurt,
That was a
right?
good one. Yeah.
That was a good
That
one.
Yeah.
one that was a good one for what they were doing with these kills. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Toronto Freddy saying, I don't like Jason's drastic look change from 7. Yeah, yeah. I mean, it was very different. It really, really was. And again, I guess you could suspend disbelief a little bit because he's down underneath the water. I think it's at least a year after the events of 7. So
Yes.
obviously
Yep.
there's going to be some decomposing and stuff like that. I get it, but I just wish that they could have nailed the look a little bit differently. Anthony saying, I like the look of Jason. It was just him constantly sobbing wet. That didn't work for me. No wonder Jason was so mad in this. He just wanted somebody to give him a towel. I like that.
Nice.
And DMC mentioning one point that I do agree with, the little bit of character development with Sean and his father, the friction, the captain of the ship.
Hmm.
And I think it's too bad they didn't go into that a little bit more. You know what I'm saying? Because I think
Mhm.
that would have been some interesting stuff. But anyways, it is what it is. So Jason's killing people on the ship. We got to get to New York, kill. And sooner or
Yeah.
later, that's got to happen. Your boy, he gets electrocuted after he finds JJ. And it's like, man, everyone's getting aced out. They did have that cool scene where they showed the captain and his first mate getting killed, and it had really cool lighting and stuff. And it's like, it's too bad we didn't get a little bit more of that. I think that's kind of what I'm trying to say, is that I wish there was a little bit more oomph in the boat scenes, because they had to have the boat scenes. It
Mhm.
was all about budget. They didn't have enough budget to shoot this movie in New York like they wanted to. At one point, the director thought that they were going to do 50% on the boat, 50% in New York, and then all of a sudden it came down to about 25% in New York, and even less because they shot on location in Vancouver and just had, I think they had 1 week in New York to shoot that scene where you have Kane right in the middle of Times Square and so forth. So anyways,
Yeah.
they
That
got
was
to
a
get off
great
this.
shot too.
It's a fantastic shot. I love that shot. It's one of the best shots in the whole franchise, and well worth the money they spent. But here's my other thing too. They're on this boat for a long time, Kill,
Mhm.
and you have Jason who hits the fire alarm. When there's a fire, you have this scene where Jason literally hits the fire alarm. It was some hokey stuff in this movie. And not to
Ye-
mention, Jason was teleporting the hell out of this movie, man.
Man, Night, I hope you don't mind me interjecting, but I
Go
was
ahead.
about to say, not only does he teleported up a ladder. He
Yes.
teleported
Yes.
up a ladder. So not
Yes.
only was he teleported and then climbed a little bit and got a guy.
Yes. And I'm like, look, man, come on, man. Kane, you can't move that fast. Come on, man. Let's
Yes,
be
he
real.
can if it's
Magic. Yes. Coriander, be honest. And Stranger Monkey saying
What?
Uncle Charles stole the show. He really did.
Yeah, he did.
Coriander, be honest though. What did you think about this teleportation stuff? Come on, man.
What can I say? Jason's just good, you know. He can do anything. What?
Come on, man.
There's nothing we can do about it. It is what it
No,
is.
I
But
know, I
it's
know, I
definitely
know.
noticeable. It's
Well,
something that you can't
Coriander,
say isn't happening.
I just gotta
What?
say, I salute you. Are ride or die. I
right?
salute you. Look at the
Look,
symbol on her hat.
look at this guy.
That's
This
right.
guy's like, thanks,
That, thanks,
Coriander.
Coriander.
You're welcome, right? I got you.
He's like my number one fan.
You
Hey,
know
look,
it.
hey, look. This is what he said. He's like, you don't care what I do as long as I do it.
That's right.
Listen, let's be real though. Let's be real though. Now, Jason has always had some moments where he's teleporting. We know that from the very
Yes.
beginning. Even Pamela did. Okay, no problem. Matter of fact, even the reboot addressed that issue specifically by showing the underground pathways, the trap doors, all that type of shit. But man, come on, man. You gotta edit a little bit. You gotta make it a little bit more believable. Because like you said, Kill, that scene when he climbs the ladder right before they have to leave the boat, it's like there is no way. I mean, come on. Like for real. People in the chat, you gotta tell me what you think about the teleportation. Miss Carter saying, "Rest in peace to Julius, the only bro to try and shoot the fade with Jason." Right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely, man. Julius was about that life. He really, really was. But anyways, they got to get off the boat, and Eric's like, "It's magic, girl." I love it. Wolfman's in the chat too. What's going on, man?
Hello.
We're talking about
Hey.
how Jason can teleport. That's what we're talking about. But we got to get off the boat, and they've been on this boat for like 8 years, right? So then they get onto the the emergency boat, and then the way the movie is shot, guys, seriously, they're on this boat for a long ass time. I mean, and they got the mist all around them. Like I said, this movie, you can have fun with it, and there's a lot of fun stuff in it, especially a lot of the scenes with Kane in it. But Kill, the way they edited this, I just thought it just didn't line up to part 7 as far as the expertise level. What do you think about stuff like that?
Oh, definitely. Because there are just mistakes here and there, and
Right.
some are forgivable, and some are kind of cringeworthy.
Right,
And
right.
When it got to the point where they're in the escape ship, or the
Yeah.
little one, it's nighttime. So
Yeah.
they've been rowing, and now it's daytime. You got the fog and the mist and this and that,
Mhm.
and they're still going, and then it's nighttime again.
Mhm.
When look, am I Coriander? I know that. Hey, he's our boy too. But
Right.
am I
There he is.
lying? Okay, because then
No,
it's
you're
night.
right.
Okay, so either they've been rowing for like a day and a half or whatever,
Literally.
but it's nighttime again because
Yeah.
there you go. Oh, there's the Statue of Liberty. We
And
in
then
New York.
and then your boy, hey, look, and I love Julius. Shout out to my man VC Dupree as Julius. But you just survived a massacre on a boat, right?
Yeah.
You just survived the worst thing you're ever gonna live through in life, right? And he's
Oh,
singing
man.
the New York song.
Yes, he is. If I can make it there,
Hey,
I can make it
he can make it
anywhere.
anyway.
Be real,
Oh
man.
no.
Oh Lord, I love it.
Oh
Eric
man.
is saying, "Hold that torch, Coriander. Teleport powers or not."
Right?
Exactly.
I got it high, man.
Strange Monkey. When I was a kid, I thought there was a barbecue on the ship, and instead of grabbing a hot piece of coal, Jason grabbed a hot piece of chicken and killed the guy in the sun.
Nice.
That's
Oh
great.
man.
Oh man. DMC.
Oh.
I did like how they made Jason become a good guy for 5 minutes and took out 2 thugs. That was different. than just all
Yeah.
innocent people. That was different. Coriander, you actually talked about that.
Yeah. He was a hero at one point. Come on.
Right?
Can,
There's
can,
more.
can I just address that real quick? I mean,
Yeah,
yes,
go ahead.
he was a hero, but why the second they step on soil in New York? Why literally the second they get robbed at
Yeah,
gunpoint
right,
Oh man.
and our protagonist, our female protagonist, borderline almost gets raped and gets
right.
forced drugs into her vein.
Yeah,
Okay, so like literally, oh man, we're in New York. Give us your money. It's like
right. Like
wow.
hey, listen. It is real like that in New York, right?
It could
But
be. I
they
mean, but it could be like
literally,
that anywhere. I
well,
don't know.
true. But I'm just saying,
Yeah.
and of course, this is 1989. We got to remember that.
Yeah.
But literally, as soon as they walk off the dock, they look. They took about 7 steps,
Yeah.
and then they
Yep.
got accosted. That's
Yeah.
basically what happened. 7
Yeah.
steps, and you're gonna get robbed in New York City.
Well,
Yeah.
look where they ended up. Look where they ended up in the friggin' slums in an alleyway, off the harbor. So what
Yeah,
the hell do
they
you
were.
expect?
Yeah, they're
It's
in
not like they
Gotham
were coming off
City.
the subway. Oh no.
They need vengeance to come down and save them. That's Batman, guys. Vengeance. They
Shout
need
out
him to come down.
Oh no.
Neil saying, it's not for us mere mortals to understand the ways of the Voorhees, right? He can do
Right.
That is true.
he can do what he wants to
Mhm.
do more than any other
Mhm.
time, man. And look, I, I don't even know what to say, but let's look. They get accosted. Let's talk about that scene that obviously we had in the intro. Look, it's time to do some punch out here, Kill. I mean, we played that game a lot as kids. First of all, what'd you think of this scene and obviously the ending of it?
I mean, I love that he was tired of running. He was like, "Look, I'm
Yeah,
pretty badass."
he
No, go ahead.
survived Jason twice. He
Yeah.
survived Jason twice. That was
Well, but see,
crazy.
okay,
Yeah, he did.
but okay, did he really, or was Jason just like, I'm tired, just go in the water, just go and just go, because Jason could have done a million things. I mean,
Right.
Coriander's boy could have just crushed his head, broke him down like Kelly, who he's just like, look, man, I'm just tired. Just go take a dip.
Right.
Just go take a dip.
Right.
I'm just like, really? Like what? Like Julius just gets thrown in the Hudson or wherever, like really? All right. But
Oh man.
but I love that Julius was pretty much tired of the cat and mouse, and he was like, "Look, I'm gonna take my swing. I'm gonna take my chance."
Yeah.
And he was giving him the combos, man. He was inputting all the combos
Yeah.
in
Right.
and just giving it
And
to
the
him to the
blood,
point.
yeah, the blood that was on his hands was his actual blood. So he was, going for it.
Yeah, he was. I think
Mhm.
Kane said it was 66 punches.
Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, and VC said to Kane Hodder, he's like, "Hey, we're doing this scene. I want to make it look as good as possible. Can I really hit you?" And Kane Hodder is a crazy motherfucker, man, but I love him. He's like, yeah, go for it. So he was really hitting him. Crazy
Mhm.
stuff, man. But of course, Coriander. I mean, look, if you're gonna sit there and tell Jason to take your best shot, what do you think's gonna happen? And it sure as hell
Yeah.
did happen.
Like Kane
Fate.
said, after all those punches, those blows, he was ready to knock his head off, and he
Right?
certainly did. Yeah, it was a great
Oh
scene.
my god.
That was
Fatality.
the most enjoyable one.
Right? It was a fatality. Eric saying Julius is strong, but not too bright. You'd think after 10 bare-fisted punches to a hockey mask, he'd think of something else. He's on top of a building. Find a rock or a 2x4 or something. Exactly. I was like, come on, man. And Neil, Michael Myers could take a few fighting lessons from Jason. I don't know, man. Michael faced off the whole town of Haddonfield, man. But
Hey,
I know what you're saying.
there's somebody else that faced off.
What?
Buster.
Oh God! Stop it!
Buster.
Stop it.
Buster.
Yeah,
Hey,
really.
hey,
Oh,
Buster,
man, right.
Buster would have been more creative than Julius. though.
Julius. Oh
I
no!
Yeah.
Come on.
You have a hotkey for that? Dude, hi Katie. I can look at Katie all day. But Buster, really? Come on, Buster. Why? Thank you. Night.
Never forget.
Never forget.
All right. So look, man, we're having a lot of fun with this, but let's look that scene that Coriander was talking about. Coriander, I'll let you take this, where they basically spent all of the budget when they literally had a crane. I think they said they had a crane shot 50 feet up in the air to show all the magnificence. Really, the main time you see New York. What did you think of this scene? And at this point, obviously, because they also killed Uncle Charles with the toxic waste, which was a
Yeah, they
ridiculous
did.
scene. But right now,
Yeah.
the only people left is Rennie and Sean. So what do you think of this
Yeah.
scene? And tell me what you thought of it as far as Kane being in New York, real New York.
Yeah. This was so cool. Like, this made all the other shit worth it, because we finally see him in New York.
Mhm.
And yeah, I mean, he's in the subway, he's walking downtown, smashing these punks' radio.
Yeah.
So come on, yeah, it was great, and I loved all those scenes. Yeah, all the scenes in New York were so cool, and it's just such a bummer that the budget didn't allow for this to happen, because this is one where they should remake and do it over and do it the right way, because it would be
Yes, that's a good
awesome.
point. That's a good point, actually. And I didn't even really think about going down this road, but let's take a second and Kill, you can jump in too. The fact that Jason, and of course we're Friday 13th fans, so our lens is a little bit different, but the fact that we can accept having Jason in friggin' New York City in the middle of Times Square posing,
Yeah.
mean mugging,
Yes.
the fact that we can even accept that and want to enjoy it, I guess that says a lot about how much we love the character and the series.
Mhm.
But man, wouldn't it have been cool if they could have done the idea of at least 50% in New York? I mean, they had, and Coriander, you'll be talking about a couple of those with fun facts, but they had some really interesting ideas to do that they obviously couldn't. Kill, what do you think about that? I mean, it's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, it once again, and I've said this before in other reviews, missed opportunities, because you have the docks, you have the alley, you have the diner, you have the subway, you have that Times Square, and then you have sewers. I believe those were all the sets for New York. I might be missing something, and if I am, let me know. So that's 6 total sets, and then the other 2 sets, the cruise boat and the yacht for the first kill. I mean, and the car that the Rennie is driving in with the lady coming to the dock. So I mean, really, that's what we're dealing with here. And for a movie called Jason Takes Manhattan, there's not a lot of Manhattan. It's like Jason takes the boat, Jason takes the docks, Jason is hanging onto the little boat for a day and a half.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Like what was he doing? Was he hanging onto a rope?
He was zombie walking on the ocean bottom. Come on, guys.
Was he zombie walking, or was he holding on to the boat as they were doing the work for him?
Right?
Yeah, they were dragging him. That's why it took so long.
Oh my God.
But yeah, I mean, I would love to see this redone because it's missed opportunities. It's a fun movie. The premise, the title of it is fun. The opening theme and the voiceover crawl is it's all fun. But just you guys spend the money. Don't be tight with the purse strings.
Yep. Real quick, Videodrome in the chat. What's going on? Saying I adore Jason Takes Manhattan the way it is. I'm not saying it should have stayed this way, but I just cannot imagine Jason is a tourist. The movie. That's true too. It is a tricky balance.
He wasn't acting like a tourist. He was there kicking ass. He was going into a diner, not giving a shit, just looking to kill these two. So,
but I think the idea of the comment though is like how realistic
how much New York do you need,
right? And how much are we going to watch Jason walking around the streets, stalking Rennie and Sean, you know what I mean? So I get it. I get it. It's a tricky balance. The concept is great though, and the marketing for it was great too, because I remember seeing that teaser trailer where he turns around and the people are screaming and they're like, New York has a new problem. As a kid, I saw that and I was like, what? I can't believe it. It's so cool. Videodrome saying, I know they titled it Jason, but the New Blood was literally about Tina, not Jason? Didn't people love the new blood? Jason Lives was like 35 or so% about Megan. Did people not like Megan? Good question. I mean, these movies, it's always a balance as far as how much story they put on Jason or the protagonist. But I will say, to me anyways, what was cool about the new blood was that they really showcased Jason a lot. The cinematography, the stunt work that he did in the movie, the
Mm-hmm.
fire burn, the look, all the great makeup effects and so forth. And I think that's one thing that kind of was a little missing in this movie, except for just Kane being Jason. That was great stuff. Miss Carter. Apparently, Myers don't know how to defend himself against karate.
Very,
Oh
very
man.
true. Very
there,
true.
there is truth to that. I can't lie. But as we get to the end here, the bottom line is that they're going to be in a tunnel, and Rennie has to face her fears. Coriander. That's basically it, because as we found out in a flashback, she was pushed into the lake to learn how to swim by good old Uncle
Yeah.
Charles,
Yeah.
and she saw Jason, or at least a vision
Jason
of
pulled her
Jason.
under,
That's right.
right?
And he told the story to her as well about Jason, which I
Mm-hmm.
will say this just came to my head, and then I'll let you jump in. That did make his character make a little bit more sense, because the whole movie he
Yeah,
was
that
like this,
traumatized her,
thi-
man.
well, no, I'm talking about Uncle Charles, because the whole movie he kept saying, this Jason stuff is ridiculous. Stop talking about Jason. Stop talking about
Mm-hmm.
Jason. And after a while, I'm thinking, come on, man, people are being killed. It's possible, right? But I think the reason he was like that is because of his own guilt to what he did to his niece back in the day. And you don't understand that until, unfortunately, near the end of the movie, but it is
Did
what
he
Yep.
it
feel
is.
guilty though? I don't think he felt guilty for doing that.
Well,
No.
guilty, or at least he didn't want to bring up that memory. It was a bad memory, and I think he definitely loved her, you know, and I think it was
He
maybe
cared,
shame.
sure.
Maybe it was shame more than guilt. Maybe that's a better way to
Yeah.
Yeah.
put it. But yeah, you got that scene in the tunnel. I thought that was pretty cool. You had some cool shots of Jason as well, kill. And you have that scene that I thought was cool. And Rennie was like, "You didn't get me in the lake, and you're not gonna get me now either." And I was like, "All right, she's stepping up here. Lead me to this finale, man, because this is it. This is it."
Well, okay. So they end up in the sewers, and there's a sewer worker there that's conveniently letting them know, like, hey, you guys better get out of this sewer, cause at midnight, midnight on the dot, it fills with toxic waste.
Right?
Is this
Mm-hmm.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles or something? Because like the sewer fills with toxic waste. The uncle gets killed by a
Toxic
a,
waste, a
a
barrel.
toxic waste barrel that's just behind a Denny's. Like, what the
I was waiting
heck
to
is
see
it?
Toxic Avenger, man.
Right?
Exactly.
Look,
With a dead rat in it.
look. I know that the New York sewers, has Beauty and the Beast down there. You got the turtles down there. You got the Rat King and the Morlocks. And you got a lot of stuff down there. I know that, but toxic waste just sitting,
Just
just in a
waiting.
barrel. Just, hey, I'm gonna dump this. I'm gonna kill this guy by this barrel up here. But that's neither here nor there. So
Right?
now, okay, they're stuck in the sewers, and Mr. Happy is just down there, like, what's it going to be, like, I mean, and they kind of have their little standoff, and of course, she's taunting him. You didn't get me in the lake. You're not going to get me
Right.
now in this. And he's like, oh, really? I'll show you. So I,
Gosh.
man, look,
Coriander.
go ahead. I'm sorry.
Look, there's only one way you're gonna take care of Jason when you got all these things happening, and that's to use toxic waste. And Rennie is
Yeah,
smart
it's
enough to
everywhere.
know what she has to do.
Mm-hmm.
And here we go, guys. This is what it's all leading up to. That's what we got.
That's what
That's
we
what we
got.
Yeah,
got.
Yep.
Coriander,
that's
what did you think
bad.
of this? What do you think of this ending? Just tell me your thoughts, man. Even
Mel-
even Rennie, even
It was
Rennie was like,
messed
"What
up.
the fuck?"
Yeah, it
Look at
was
her.
messed up. I mean, Jason looked weird. I mean, and the toxic sludge looked like pretty clear water, you know.
Yeah.
And the
Mhm.
fact that he turned into this kid again, this normal looking boy, it's like, what the fuck is going on here? So yeah, the ending's
Yeah.
kind of whacked, but hey,
There he
what can
is.
I
There
say?
he is.
Right?
There he
Right? It's
is.
like, what's
there he
going on?
And
is.
look, when I saw this
Yeah.
movie as a kid, even myself, I was like, wait a minute, what the hell's going on? What the hell is
Right?
going on? I was just lost. Let
It's
me.
Rennie. I bet it's those drugs. She's coming down off those drugs and she's seeing shit. That's what it
She,
is.
she better be seeing
Yeah,
some
Yeah.
shit. She
she
better
was
be.
getting high.
She was
She
already
did.
high. She got
Yeah.
high.
Right?
Oh
What's up,
yeah.
Denisha? What's up, Denisha? How you doing?
Hey.
Um, Let me just catch up to the chat too, man. And Eric bringing up a good point, a little bit of foreshadowing in the diner. Kane takes out Ken Kirzinger, the cook. Yeah, and of course he
Yeah.
portrayed Jason in Freddy versus Jason, which, by the way, and I said this to Coriander. Let's talk about this for a second, Coriander. Like Ronnie Yu, when he did Freddy versus Jason, and we'll talk about that when we talk about the episode,
Yeah.
but I just want to do a quick tease. He talked about how supposedly the studio wanted, a more a bigger difference of a look between Jason and Freddy, and so that was one of the reasons why they went to Ken. He's a stunt man as well, but Ken is not that much bigger than Kane. He's taller,
He
but
really isn't.
but
Yeah.
he's not like a giant to an elf. I mean, what did you think about
Right.
that, Coriander? I mean, because that scene they were basically toe to toe, and Kane just
They
tosses
were.
him.
And he tossed him like nothing. And if they were like standing like ass to ass, he's only probably like an inch and a half or so taller than Kane. So
Maybe two, yeah,
yeah, the fact that they didn't, use him is for me ridiculous. That
yeah.
Ronnie
Well,
guy didn't know what the fuck he was doing.
yeah, we'll get to that pretty soon. Flamethrower saying
Right?
Jason and Big Daddy from Land of the Dead were walking across the ocean floor together. That's funny you said that, man, because when
Exactly.
Coriander said that, that's exactly what I thought about was in Land of the Dead when the zombies were
Right.
literally walking on the bottom of the sea floor. It's some crazy shit, man.
Yeah.
But anyways, this ending, it was crazy, man. This is what they should have done when she hit him with the toxic waste, that was fine. And you basically see him disintegrating, and that's fine. And,
Melting.
and of course, Rennie's like, wow, what's going on? But they should have cut it right there, man. That should have been the ending of it
Mm.
to me, and just kind of like leave it open. You can see the mask floating away like they did. I think that's where they should have cut it. But Rob Heaton, he was fascinated with this whole
With
mythology
that boy.
of Jason as the child, talking about how this kind of brings it full circle, and the idea of just the mythology. And he said, well, Jason's supernatural, so anything could happen. Well, that's true, but the fact that he reverted to a boy, I mean, I guess if he reverted to a boy that was all messed up with toxic waste, that might have worked a little bit better. But look, man, this is all I gotta say right there. Come on, man. What's going on? What's going on?
Yeah.
And originally the idea was for they were showing how there was this huge mouth, this Jason mouth that they created where a little boy was going to come out of the mouth. And they're like that was even worse. And even they said this just does not look good, man. So at least they didn't use that. But this was easily the weirdest ending of we're not even done the franchise, but I'm just going to say it right now. This is easily the weirdest ending in the whole franchise. Would you agree with that,
Yeah.
Kill?
Well, hey, we got Jason Goes to Hell next. So I
Oh
mean,
That's
goodness.
it's true, but I'm just saying this was some weird ass shit,
this
man.
was some weird stuff, and yes, this is a very weird one. But we're gonna have things like the Voorhees sword, and like,
Well,
okay, yeah, all
Oh
right,
come
here
on.
we go.
all right.
DMC DMC says, I think I'll watch this again tonight. Night. Laugh out loud.
Nice.
It wasn't bad. It wasn't
No.
bad. Now, before we give our final thoughts on this, we do have a couple fun facts we're gonna throw up. And Coriander, I'll let you start. You've got a couple, and I'll just let you throw them out there. Me and Kill, we'll respond to them.
All right. So Kane Hodder vomited on cue in the final scene after drinking several pitchers of water, and this was not a special effect.
Wow,
Hmm.
Kane puts in work, man. He really, really does.
Yeah. Rob Hedden had written scenes to be shot at Madison Square Garden, the Brooklyn Bridge, the Statue of Liberty, and the Empire State Building.
I wish they could have
Could
Nice.
done
you
that, man.
imagine?
Yeah,
Right?
that would have been some cool shit, man. It really would have.
Hmm.
Yeah. So Julius throws punches at Jason for exactly 1 minute and 16 seconds.
Yeah, I mean, look, man. He was punching like a mother. It was like 66 punches, I think Kane Hodder said. It's crazy.
Mhm.
Yeah. The scene in which Jason kills Eva in the disco took over 14 hours to complete.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah, and that was
Jeez.
the first strangulation in a movie. So at least one of his.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
And when he threw Kelly Hugh really hit the ground. And the
yeah, she did.
idea of it was when she hit the ground, he even said to her, you know, you can't break your fall because I'm basically killing you and then tossing you. So when she
Yeah,
lands, it definitely
she hit
looks
hard.
hard. Yeah, so shout out to Kelly
Yeah,
Hugh.
Yeah.
yeah. But that's all I have. So
All right. And real quick too, Neil was saying drugs were definitely involved in this ending. I
right?
love it. Jason without the mask looks like Skeletor after a week-long bender.
Oh.
Oh man. Dan's in the chat. What's up? Drugs would explain a lot in this one and some of the other ones. Right? I'm still saying not Jason 8. I was so disappointed. Oh man, I'm telling you. Crazy stuff, man. Denisha saying, love the ending when Jason turns into a kid at the water. Do you think a reboot of Jason is coming? I hope so. I hope so. But there's
Yeah,
there's a
it'd be
lot
nice.
there's a lot of stuff going on with the rights and stuff. So I have no idea when that's gonna happen. It's
Mhm.
yeah, it's frustrating. Ken Kirzinger was a good Jason, but I prefer Kane Hodder. I do too. I
Yeah,
do too.
Yes.
You know,
yeah.
and it could have been Jason spends 13 minutes in Manhattan. It probably was
Right?
or less. But
Yeah.
and we'll be talking about obviously Freddy versus Jason. And I don't know if it was the direction or if it was Ken or maybe a combination of both. But yeah, I mean Kane just has a bit better physicality in the role. You know,
He
just the way he
he
moves.
did.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yes.
Everything about the
Yes.
way he portrayed him was just awesome.
yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
What's up, Apollo? What's going on? He becomes a baby. Yeah, right?
Yeah.
It's crazy stuff, man. I don't even know what
It
to say.
is. And it's like
Yeah.
brings the circle into, the story into full circle. It's like I don't get it, If anything, it's confusing,
Hmm.
It's weird. I don't know
I
what he was
agree.
thinking.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Mhm.
But anyways, what do we got for some final thoughts in this kill? This is an interesting entry. This is our eighth
Mhm.
movie, obviously, our eighth episode in the franchise. So what are you thinking?
I always like to give a movie or a franchise credit for trying something different, and they did try something different here.
Hmm.
But ultimately, because of the ratings board, neutering and nerfing, gore scenes and kill scenes, and then also them just kind of cheaping out with the budget. I mean,
Hmm.
it's a fun movie, but so many missed opportunities.
Right,
Yeah.
right, right. How about you, Coriander?
You know, I, I love pretty much all these movies, and yeah, they have their ups and downs. And I mean,
Absolutely.
this one's fun to watch, and
Hmm.
the scenes that are in New York are so cool, especially that opening where he steps out and there he is in Times Square. That was
Hmm.
awesome. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, it's enjoyable.
Mm.
I love
Okay. All right.
it.
Wayne was saying Jason X was better than this. Oh yeah. Well, we'll be getting to
Yes.
Jason X pretty soon. We'll
Yeah,
be
that
getting
was
to
fun
that pretty
too.
soon. Yeah, yeah.
Hmm.
I mean, I agree with you guys. I think magic water, right? And Joel's in the chat brings up a good point. Kane Hodder, known as the definitive Jason, but he starred in several of the worst franchise entries, in my opinion. And we're going to get into that. Obviously, we're going to finish talking about the series, and we're also going to rank the franchise. So that's going to be some interesting stuff. But I hear what you're saying. And by the way, if you guys have not already, please give the video a like. That would help support the channel, and we'd really appreciate it. We were lucky enough to have a lot of you guys in here. Looked like we had about 20 or 30 people in here. So please give the video a like and also leave us a comment. Let us know what you think about Friday 13th Part 8 because there is so much to say about it. A lot of ups and downs. I know some people like DMC, they really enjoy it. I enjoy it for what it is. I think it's definitely a product of the time. And I also think it was a product of what was happening with the other horror icons, especially Freddy. I think they
Hmm.
looked at this as a chance to get more fantastical, especially after part 7. But the only thing I want to say is it's just too bad that Paramount didn't support the movie a little bit more with the money, because I think that would have really made the difference. I think it really, especially the rewatchability of it, because as much as there were some interesting things on the boat, kind of like what you were saying earlier, Kill, the pacing of it was up and down. Eh,
Yes.
they didn't have enough tension on the boat. They didn't utilize the boat enough. Like if you look at a movie like, and again, totally different movies, but just to give an idea, if you look at a movie like Alien, you basically are on a boat, a ship, a boat, a house. It doesn't really matter, but the way that the movie was crafted, there's so much tension in that movie. If Jason Takes Manhattan could have had just some more of that, I think that first 2/3 on the boat, I think that would have been more well received. Does that make, hopefully I'm making sense with that. Does that make sense?
Well, it makes sense to me because they did it with Jason X. Jason
True
X
enough.
is alien.
Yeah.
And there's tension there. They send whole Marines in there, so it's if they could have had that same kind of tenseness that they have in X with this on the boat, it would have solved all of what you were just talking about.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's true. It's true. As we start to head out here, Videodrome saying the movie mentions in the beginning his tragic drowning. The vision of him during Jim's monologue is very il- illustrating. Rennie,
Illusory.
okay, Rennie gets lost several times in her memories and fears and nightmares. Yeah, there was some interesting stuff with that. I don't know. It felt like they went halfway on that. You know what I mean? I think they
Hmm.
should have either gotten deeper into that or not have done it. So it is what it is. But not a horrible movie by any means. But next week is the time we are going to be talking
Oh,
about.
stop.
Hey, I'm just being real. Next week we are talking about Jason Goes to Hell. So that's going to be a fun episode. We'll have a little bit of a surprise as well. So we hope you guys are going to join us for a fun episode. When we did this on the first channel, I remember we had a blast with that episode. So I am assuming that we're going to have a blast again, if not more, because, yeah, it's going to be some fun stuff. But, anyways, thank you guys in the chat for hanging out with us. We appreciate it. Please give the video a like, leave us a comment. And yeah, we're going to be counting down the days until we talk about the final Friday. It's going to be great. Seriously. And one more comment, too. Amstel was saying, do you guys want to see Friday the 13th get the Halloween treatment, a new trilogy? I want to see a new Friday the
That would
13th
be
movie. I,
awesome.
I want to see a new
To
Friday the
get
13th movie.
3.
Oh
Oh
yeah,
my god. I'd love
yeah,
it.
yeah. I mean, it would be great. I just want a movie. It's been over a decade. So,
Yeah.
anyways,
Yeah.
next week the Night Watch Zone stops getting nice and starts getting real. You know it. You know it. Jason Goes to
Oh
Hell
no.
can go to hell. Sorry, not sorry. You guys are too funny, man. Anyways, guys, Miss Carter, that was a good one. Anyways, guys,
Hmm.
we appreciate you guys hanging out with us. We'll catch you later. You guys know the tagline. If you're watching this, if you're listening to this, you are the Night Watch. Peace out.
Peace.
Ouch.